Hi everyone, I'm JD from Livebound Journals, and today I have a tutorial or craft with me video showing you my process of how I make these napkin envelopes. I have already got some tutorials and process videos of this, but I still get lots of questions about it. So since it's been a while, I thought I would do another video showing how I do this. Here is a look at the envelopes that I like to use. I get these small ones just from the post office, and I get these long ones as well. There's some window ones as well as some plain ones. I just use the plain ones for this particular project, but you can see you can get ones with windows as well. I usually love just coffee dyeing those ones, and then I love putting something in the pocket so you can see it through that window. But because I'm using the napkins for this, I'm just going to decorate across the whole front of the envelope with the napkin. These napkins on my desk come from the lovely Susan, so big thank you to my kindred spirit Susan. She sent me a lovely happy mail with a bunch of napkins. One of them though, the one with the blue stripes and flowers, that one came from a Bridgerton party that I went to. So the first thing that I do is grab the napkins and pull off the white layers. Some napkins have one layer, some have two, some might even have 3 layers. The first layer is usually pretty easy to come off. The second one can be a little bit trickier. It seems to want to stick on sometimes. There's little tips and tricks that you can do, like you can wet it. And just to get the white off, you can definitely save the white sheets as well for collage work. You can kind of use it like tissue paper, add it for texture, or put it over a layer if you would like to keep the white layers and repurpose them. Otherwise, just keep the fronts, and this is an example of how I like to use them as well besides envelopes. Sometimes I make tags with them or journal cards. These ones I have decorated the front of these paper bags, and I sew around the edges, leaving that top pocket, of course, opening. But I often will sew it directly onto a page in a journal. So that way you kind of get like a little secret pocket behind the bag as well. So for this project though, I'll be using the envelopes, but it's the same process. All you do is grab your napkin without the white layers, grab whatever surface you're using, whether it is a card, tag, bag or envelope, or even a page. Sometimes I use this for decorating a journal page just on plain white paper or coffee dyed paper, even a cover. Sometimes I use this method for a journal cover. But I just grab a Bostik glue stick or an Elmer's glue stick, like you want a strong glue. So I use a glue stick because I find it has the smoothest effect. I've tried other glues. I've tried PVA, rubber cement, Mod Podge, craft glue, clear glue, but the one that I prefer is definitely the Bostik glue stick or an Elmer's glue stick. It gives the smoothest surface for me. I've just prepared these napkins, taken off the white layers. Now I'm grabbing an envelope and I'm just working out where I want to place it and which envelope I want. So this is a rather small napkin. You can get napkins in all different sizes and shapes. So I'm just seeing, which one will get me the most coverage from the napkin without wasting too much of it. So with the smaller envelopes, I do have a separate video on my channel if you're wondering, why are you decorating envelopes? I've got a separate video showing the different ways that I love to use envelopes in my journals, all different envelopes, different sizes, different types of papers, patterns, colors. I love using napkin envelopes in 2 ways. The first way is with the long envelope, to fold it in half, bind it into a signature, and then you have 2 top-loading pockets. The other way that I like to use them is with a smaller envelope, and I'll either paper clip it onto the side of a page, or I will glue the flap down onto the page so it becomes like a flip out. And you can put something in the pocket. I often will, though, just paper clip it in so that people can have freedom to move it around wherever they want. But yeah, you have an extra pocket. You can put some journal cards in there, or some tags, or tuck in a letter, or tuck in some photos. So it's just an extra little pocket that you can fill up with whatever you want. So yeah, now I've applied the glue on the surface, just covering it all. Then I place the napkin on top, and I just sort of use my nail to go over everything to make sure it's all stuck down, but also to smooth it out. I try not to smooth it out completely though, because I do like having a little bit of texture, and depending on your preference, you might want to leave a lot of wrinkles, or have it completely smooth. But yeah, I'm not sure if you know, with napkins, some of them have the little bubbles, like the edges will have raised parts to it. If you just grab your nail or like a bone folder or something, they all smooth out, they all disappear. So if you're not a fan of those little bubbles or whatever they're called, they come right out. And if you like them, you don't press down as hard as I do on them, if you want to leave them for some added texture. But yeah, I hope, just watching this process video, it's all pretty simple, very easy process, and hopefully you can see just how easy it is and how quick it is, but how effective it is as well. Like just getting a simple napkin, as long as you have a beautiful napkin, you will transform any surface, whether it's an envelope, a tag, a card, a page, you will just instantly transform it, and it becomes something beautiful and decorative. And depending on your journal, you can find different napkins to suit different themes. Obviously I love botanicals and florals, so I especially love those types of napkins. Birds, butterflies, that kind of thing. Where do I get napkins from? I get that question sometimes too. Well, where I live, I don't actually find many, because I live in a small country town. But you can tend to find them in places like, I don't know, the cheap local cheap shops. So whatever you have, we have one called Prices Plus. Other places have Dollars and Cents, or maybe the Reject Shop, places like that. Party shops will tend to have all different types of themed napkins, and it's great because I find like different places, wherever you go, even within Australia, from state to state or town to town, you will find different napkins. And then, overseas, I've been sent quite a few napkins over the years from people around the world, so America and Britain and Canada and all that kind of thing, and seeing their napkins is like, oh wow, these ones are so pretty, because I've never seen them before. And just when I think I've seen them all, I get surprised, and I'll be like, wow, here is another napkin. So for example, Susan, she sent me this beautiful happy mail that included a whole bunch of these napkins, and you might have noticed there's some butterfly shaped ones, which I've never seen. I have never seen that shape where I am, or in any shop that I've been to, and there's also some sort of scalloped edged ones, which is really cool, which I've never seen before either. And this one here, the one that I'm about to do right now, I'd never seen that design either, but I asked my friend and she said she got them online. So if you don't have shops like I do, like I don't have shops either, another option is to just look online. And yeah, there's just so much variety. There's all different themes, all different colours, and there's some really, really stunning ones. I especially love the vintage looking ones, sort of the collaged ones with the, like, maybe some script, some stamps, birds, butterflies, flowers, with all that in the background. Like, some of those are really stunning. There's a particular brand I really like. I can't remember what it's called, but it has like a little elephant in the corner. If anyone knows what brand that is, feel free to put that down in the description box. I also really like William Morris designs. They're probably my second favourite brand. I've had a few of their different especially the blue and white one. I have no idea what they're called. I can picture it in my head. Really, really pretty. I think one's called Strawberry Thief and one's called Chrysanthemum, maybe, because I only know that because of the washi tapes. William Morris also does washi tapes, and some of the napkins are the same design as the washi tapes. So yeah, there's so many. If you've never used napkins before, maybe this is something you want to add to your supply list. They're such a wonderful, versatile material to use, and yeah, it's one of my favorite crafting activities or projects to do, because it's just so relaxing, soothing, therapeutic, and I often do it in bulk. So I will just get, like I showed you before, a whole bunch of envelopes, a whole bunch of napkins, and I will just spend, I don't know, an hour, 2, 3, going through the pile and making lots and lots of these. And if I had more bags, I would do more bags. And yeah, like I said, journal cards, tags, you can definitely do that. I also use napkins in my personal journaling, sometimes just to decorate a page, or just not the whole page necessarily, but just like the corner, or I might do a collage with it. So any little offcuts and scraps of napkins, I keep some of those if they're really pretty, just to add a bit of texture or some color or pattern to a page. I have a few little napkin scraps in my scrap treasure box. The other thing that I do with these envelopes is I do sew them. So after I have my stack, I will spend another hour or 2 at my sewing machine and just sew down the side, across the bottom, and across and up the next side, leaving, of course, the opening so you can tuck things inside. And so I'm not too fussed about the edges as well, because I know I will be sewing it all around the edges. And this is, just showing sort of my bulk making process. I tend to make things in bulk like this, and I will sort of have a production line method. So I will do all of the gluing the napkins down first, cutting them into the individual envelopes, leaving all of the overhang till later. Once they're all glued down, then I will grab my scissors and trim them up, just cut away all of the excess napkin. Then that leaves me with my stack of envelopes to take over to the sewing machine, and then I'll do that process. So I do it all in stages. It's not like I do one envelope at a time, finish one, do the next one, finish that, do the next. No, I do it in stages. That's just my preferred method. I find it really relaxing doing it in bulk like that. But yeah, if you find it easier just to do one at a time, go ahead. That is also wonderful. But yeah, I get on a run. I often do this. Sometimes I get on a tag making run, and again, I have a bit of a streamlined process or production line happening with that. So what I'll do is, first of all, I'll trace my tags on manila folder. So I'll trace like 10, 20 manila folders with all my tags. Once they're all traced, then I will grab my scissors and I will cut them out. Once they're all cut out, then I will decorate them. Once they're decorated, then I will take them to my sewing machine. So I know lots of other people make tags one at a time, but yeah, I like having mine all prepared in stages. And sometimes, like, I don't necessarily do it all in one day. I will trace them all in one day, and then the next day I'll sit down and I'll cut them out. Maybe a week later I'll decorate them, and maybe another week later I'll sew them. But yeah, I like to do it in stages like that. So same with this. I did, in this session, I glued them and cut them, but I still haven't sewn them yet. They're stacked up on my desk in a pile, ready to be sewn, but yeah, I just haven't got around to it just yet. But that's because I'm a mood maker, I realized, and I shared a video about this before. I'm a mood journal maker and I'm a mood crafter. So sometimes I'm in the mood for just tracing tag templates. Other times I'm in the mood for cutting things out. Other times I'm in the mood for decorating. I have to really be in the mood for decorating because that's when it takes the most brain power. And then other times I don't always feel like sewing, so I just save all my sewing projects. You know, I might have a whole stack of envelopes ready to sew. I might have a whole stack of tags and papers to sew, but I'll just leave them to pile up, pile up, pile up. And when I'm ready, when I feel like sewing, that's when I will make my way through the pile. So it's not necessarily, oh, I've got these things to sew, I'll sew it now. It's, oh, I don't feel like sewing, so I'll do something else. And then I'll just wait until, because eventually I will always eventually feel like sewing, maybe like once a week I'll get round to it. And same with the tags, like I can go for months without feeling like making tags, but for 1 month like all 3 weeks in a row, it's all I can think about. It's like, all I want to do is make tags. So yeah, I'm definitely a mood crafter. I'm curious, feel free to let me know in the comments, are you a mood crafter? Because I feel like most people tend to be like a single item at a time crafter, or like a single journal at a time. No, I have got like 30 journals on the go at the same time, because sometimes I want to do the covers, sometimes I want to do pages, other times I want to do the embellishing. And so I just have all these journals at different stages. And I just pick up the project that I feel like doing at a certain time. And yeah, that's just how I work. I like working in bulk and going to a project that I feel like doing at a certain time. And there's no right or wrong way to do it at all. Don't feel like, oh, that's the way you do it, now I have to do it like that. No, not at all. I always say this, it's all just about finding out how you do it, how you enjoy working, and running with that. But the key is to find out first, like, how do you work? What's the best way that you work? And sometimes you have to kind of try different methods. I think when I first started, I was very much more of like a one at a time person. I would make one journal at a time. I would make a set of tags. And that was how I used to do it. But now I find it more therapeutic for myself, more relaxing for myself if I do things in bulk process. So yeah, this is a bit of a long video, bit of a chatty video, but I hope that kind of covered some of the basics and covered some questions that I often get. I've been wanting to do a video where I answer like the most asked questions, because when I first began my channel, I got questions then, and I still get the same questions often now that I got back then. So maybe it'd be fun to just have like the most frequently asked questions in one video answered. Like I get lots of questions about how I make my tags still. I've got like a million tutorials about how I make tags, but I still to this day get questions about it, for example. So yeah, might be fun to put them all in one video and have it like as a reference guide, a catch-all type thing. So yeah, if you have any questions that you want me to answer or cover in that video too, feel free to chuck them down in the comments. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any questions about this process, let me know. If you want to share your own process, feel free to put them down below in the comments as well. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys.